Hello! Welcome to this very first broadcast of Parens of the Dead on Twitch. I see there are some users showed up. I'm very happy about that. I was practicing in the shower. Maybe nobody would show up and I would have to talk for myself. So, excellent. My plan is to do like a chill coding stream. I would be very grateful if you introduce yourself a little bit in the chat. Maybe just, did you do code closure? Have you watched the show, the 8 episodes that I made some years ago? And do you use Emacs? A little bit sort of information so I know the audience. Very good. So the plan is to take a little look at the code that I wrote 3 years ago and see if we can find some improvements. But first of all, did you notice the countdown? Turns out that the broadcasting software actually can read from a file and display the things that's in the file. So I created a little code here, a function that just shows minutes and seconds, and a little go loop counting down. So that was sort of cool. I started looking for like online countdown plugins. It turns out there's no need for that. Okay, so here is the code that I wrote many years ago. It's on closure 1.7, I see. And let's just start by seeing if it actually works. I think it does. It should work. Turns out I'm using a newer Java, so that might be a problem. Max perm size, so let's just remove that. Okay, so it actually runs. That's great. Yeah, here's the game. The zombies are coming. Escape through the city by matching buildings. Do not match zombies or fog. You've got 30 seconds. Run! Okay, let's see if we can run. And no. Nope. So we have a 404. And of course, we haven't compiled the closure script. Okay, let's do that. So if you have any questions or suggestions for improvements for the code or anything, I would be very happy to receive that. Otherwise, I think I have a few ideas for myself. I haven't really looked at the code for a few years, but I have been writing Clojure full-time since, so I should be able to get some improvements. So it's compiling, and I see there's some warnings here. Yeah, it's because of the newer. Well, I'm not entirely sure why those warnings are here. Let's see. Okay, so this works. And if you remember, if you watched it, or if you haven't watched it, this is like a memo, but you have time. I don't think I will be able to do it in time though. I think this building here, and yeah, that's definitely not working as intended. I'll have to take a little look at that. But it's working when I'm revealing the tiles, just not when they're matched. Okay, so we start by being eaten by zombies right away. Okay, my machine is, my fan is already spinning here, so I hope it doesn't affect the sound too much. Either way, we have it running. There's something strange with the CSS, and I think next up is just bumping these dependencies, so we have something new to work with and don't have to stay on closure 1.7. I know for a fact that 1.7 doesn't even work with Cider anymore, so let's bump it to 1.8 and start a REPL. I actually brought some cider for this occasion. It's non-alcoholic. Being drunk on stream isn't one of my life goals, but it's very nice. So did it start yet? Nope. Hello, Rundis. You have a beer. That's nice. Cheers. I see the chat is not positioned correctly. I will fix that straight away. Let's see. Like this. That. Now the chat should be better. Okay, so now we have a REPL, and we can do closure update project dependencies. So we'll just do like the newest of everything except for alpha and beta and snapshots. I see expectations have been through quite a lot of alpha and beta versions. Okay, and it skipped the plugins. Let's do, yeah, this one. And this one. Okay, so now we bumped all the dependencies, and if there's one thing Clojure likes to brag about, it's stability. So we'll just have to see. I will just run the tests, I think. Expectations. Yeah, let's try building as well. Do you have to clean it maybe? And clean, okay. Expectations is not a task. Okay. We don't have line expectations here. Maybe I was on the older version of expectations, didn't need a plugin. Maybe it was in my profile. Line expectations. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Do let me know if the sound quality is okay. I'll try not to mumble. I noticed I mumbled just then. Line expectations. And we will try building this again. Of course, my machine is really, I think maybe it's the streaming software that's taking all of these resources, because I can clearly hear the fan. Excellent. I'm glad to hear the sound is good. Thank you. So we'll just let this run first. Okay, so all the tests are running. Very nice. So while that is compiling, there is one thing that I remember people telling me when I did this. Hello, Bubukanti, Bubuchanti. very nice name. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. I'm Magnar. You don't have to pronounce that correctly, okay? It's that there's the Clojure is on the Eclipse public license, and that is not compatible with the GNU public license. So I have to change it. I think maybe some of my other stuff has, like prone maybe. Let's see. It's on BSD. Okay. Stasis. Yeah, there's Eclipse public license. That sounds better. Let's see. So now Eclipse public license. Change to a license that is compatible with Clojure. So I've been in breach. I've been in breach of the license for 3 years. I'm sorry. So the Clojure script is still running. Let's try and get it. Is that Emacs from the terminal, or do you just use a very clean theme? No, this is a very clean theme. It's the Emacs app. I usually install it with Cask, brew install Cask. I think the version on Emacs for OS X is also pretty good. But I think it's a default theme with just a few changes. Yes, I want a REPL. So we have a REPL. But that's the REPL with the old dependencies in. I just span it up to like get all these updates. So we'll have to quit it and start over. So did any of you watch the show recently? Or did you watch it when it was first out? Because my plan is for this evening to basically look through the code, and together we can try and improve it and see if we can all learn something. I am using cider. I'm also drinking cider. I like this. Cider. So yeah. I'm using cider, and I'm using Refactor and REPL. Which is the spin-off from Clojure Refactor that I started, but I was desperate for some help, and I got some help. So now I don't really do much with that package anymore, but I'm very grateful to the people who are maintaining it. So now we have a REPL. Let's see if we can start it. Do I have like, yeah, there's some dev user. Okay. Earlier, I'm not sure when they fixed it, but you shouldn't. Earlier, it was a bad idea to use the user namespace, because if you got any errors while loading the code in the user namespace, you would just not get a REPL. It would just die. But they fixed that. Not entirely sure when, so we can use the user REPL. But my REPL here starts an undead system. And that has to be because of this main. So I guess the REPL starts in your main namespace, unless you, yeah, I think I have something here. REPL options, exactly. Just borrowing some code from elsewhere. So we have dev, and the REPL options is user, I guess. Yeah, I won't bother to restart it. Let's just switch to user. Really? Did it load? Did you see? It took like a second. Is it because it's loading when I'm switching to it? I didn't think that happened. Anyway, I see we have system reset and start. Let's try adding start. And we can do start. No. Haha, that doesn't work at all. No implementation of method stop for nil. So the start function is trying to stop something? That's weird. Okay, let's try reset. Okay, reset worked. So we should now have the game back on here. If anyone knows what's going on with the reloaded REPL, do let me know. Okay, so here we go. We can run. Is there a game here? Yes, very good. So, wow, that was very fast. Okay. Let's see if we can find a pair, and if that bug was fixed with upgrades, that would be very weird. Okay, this is hard. These should all be here. Didn't I just see? Oh, this one. Yes. This is definitely an error. So everything seems to be working, except for the CSS. Yeah. Okay, that's some bonus points for closure, I guess. All the closure code is still working 3 years later, but there's actually a regression or something in the browsers, or at least Chrome. Okay, but it's working when they are revealed. So much I know. Let's see if we can find. There's lots of CSS here. What? So we have memo CSS. So revealed. Okay, there's also WebKit and Moz prefixed. You had to do this some years ago, but you don't have to do this anymore. I'm not going to fix that now. It's supposed to be closure and closure script. I just want to see if I can figure this out. So there's tile revealed, which is rotated, and there's matched, which is rotated, scaled, and it has opacity. So if we kill this scale and this opacity, then there should be no difference between revealed and matched. Let's see. So there's a tall one. There's the tall one. What? Okay. I think Chrome is trying to trick me. It's caching things locally, like usual. I will just do a hard reload. I can't imagine that this is the correct behavior. Okay, let's try again. Okay, there's like some decrepit buildings. All of them are decrepit. Yes, look. So now they're matched and they're the same as the revealed ones. And this works. So there's something about either the opacity or the scale. That's amazing. How does it even work? Okay, I'll just kill the opacity. I'm sorry. We'll have to reload again. Okay. This is the tall one. Did I see this here? I'm not doing this very well. Oh, yes. So it's the opacity. There's a problem using opacity for some reason. Okay. I will. This is good enough for now. I won't be doing much CSS work in this screencast, I hope. So we'll commit this workaround to regression in Chrome. Exclamation marks. Okay, start REPL in user namespace. And this one did not work. Okay, so now we've looked a little bit at the game. It's very basic. It's just memo with a timer. So let's take a little look at the code. We obviously have undid system, which has a main function, which lets us do the line run, and we have create system, which just creates the parens of that component record. It's component lifecycle. And here's another thing that I was told while doing this, but I never got to fix, is you shouldn't dissociate things from records. You can associate things, they will be put into a separate map, and you can look them up, so it's map-like. But when you dissociate, and it stops being that record, apparently. So we should instead assoc nil. I'm not sure the repercussions of dissociating, but at least this is more correct. Okay, so it's a component that has a server and nothing else. It's just a server. And the server is HTTP kit, so that we can use web servers, WebSockets. And we have an app. And this app is passed into start server as a handler. Okay, yeah. So this looks very common. It's okay. So that's one thing we have. Then we have like the web. Okay, it's just composer routes with a handler for the WebSocket endpoint and the handler for the index HTML. And that's, yeah, okay. And otherwise resources. So what do we even have in resources? Let's take a look. Okay, so we have some CSS, that index HTML that says run. Yep, there's the run. And some more pictures and yeah, image files. Okay, very nice. And then whenever someone connects through the WebSocket, we will get a WebSocket channel and start the game loop. Okay, so we have a game loop. Okay, let's see. We have a core async Go block that loops. We have a tick every 200. Okay, so every 200 there's a tick in the game, 200 milliseconds. And this is just like, yeah, very simple little ticker. So we create the game and then we send the game to the WebSocket channel after prepping it. So the game and the server includes all the information, and I guess prep removes that information. And if it's game on, in other words, you're not safe and you're not dead, then we listen for messages from the WebSocket channel and the tick channel. And if there's a WebSocket channel, then we call reveal tile. Okay, because the only message that you can get from this client is to reveal another tile. Very, very well. And then there's a tick channel which runs tick. Okay, so the game loop is basically send the game to the client, wait for either the tick channel to send a message and tick, or reveal the tile when the player asks to reveal a tile. And if the game is not on, then we close the tick channel and we close the WebSocket channel. And this, I know, is a source of bugs. And that's because we use Chord. Well, it's not because we use Chord, but we use Chord for WebSockets. And this WebSocket channel isn't a real core async channel. It has the same API as a core async channel, but it actually sends stuff off to the client and receives stuff back. So it's semantically not the same. And the other thing is, at least last time I checked, it has some timing issues when you close it. The last message going to the client might not make it there because of timing issues with closing. So we actually have to wait a little bit. Where are safe and dead? Safe and dead are in the game. We'll look at that very shortly, but the game is a map with lots of information in it, and safe and dead are added to that map by reveal tile. So we'll have to wait for a bit. Okay, how long? Doesn't really matter. Nothing more is going to occur on that channel, so we might as well give people something like 5 seconds to get that last message. Shouldn't be. I think the game will be pretty much unplayable if you have a 5-second ping, but regardless, it doesn't make a big difference. So, yeah, safe and dead. Let's take a little look at the game. So we have a create game. This one was called by the game loop when we start. It calls create game. So we have some tiles, which is just shuffled tiles on all of these faces. H1, H2, H3, H4, and H5 are the houses. 5 different houses, 2 of each. Fog, 3 zombies in a graveyard. So the rules of the game, to recap, you have to reveal all of these 5 houses without running out of time. And if you reveal 2 zombies, then you lose 3 seconds. And the graveyard turns into another zombie. So then you have another pair of zombies you should not be revealing. And finally there's the fog, which will make it harder to tell the houses apart. So you don't want to reveal that either. Okay, so when we create the game, we create the board, we add 30 remaining. So sand, I guess, in this abstraction, sand is in the hourglass, in the timer. So we have 30 remaining seconds of sand. And then we have like ticks. How many ticks into the game are we, apparently? Okay. So that's how create game works. We have down here, we have the tick function, which we saw in the game loop. So every 200 milliseconds, the tick function is called on the game. So it says, if there are not any remaining sand, then you are dead. So that's where dead is. If there are not any remaining sand, game over. Otherwise, we will increase the ticks, we will count down more sand, we will count down completion, which I don't exactly remember what is, and then we will update the tiles with conceal face. So I guess that's flipping stuff back again. So winning the game, in other words being safe, happens in reveal tile, I'm pretty sure. Reveal tile, if we can reveal, then we will associate on that index that it is revealed. Check for a match, check for concealment, check for completion, check for completion. Yeah, here it is. If we found all the houses, yeah, here's the completion. So if you found all the houses, then we initiate a countdown. And after the countdown, then you get the victory condition, I guess. Just to give you like a few moments to relish in your completed game state. What did you use to jump to reveal tile? Let's see. I think maybe we were in the game loop and we saw a reveal tile here. No, now I remember. I used IDO, I menu. So I was down here, and if you press Ctrl X, Ctrl I, then you get all the symbols that are defined in this file. And then I did RT, reveal tile, and enter. So this you can use even with Outsider, and it works in any major mode in Emacs. So if basically if it has this face, the symbol face, then you can jump to it. So here we have all of the symbols. It's pretty nice. Okay, so completion, check for completion, and that's what countdown completion does, I guess. So if there is 1, if countdown completion is not 1, then we dissociate complete countdown and we complete the round. Okay, I'm trying to find safe here, but I'm not like finding it as fast as I would think. So here's complete round, and of course if you're on the last round of the game, then you're safe. But the game has 3 rounds. Yeah, so if it's not on the last round, you get 30 more sand remaining, and we create a new board. I see. Let's. I will try and make this. I will try and make this work. Let's see. You can cheer me on. Okay, that's a good start, I guess. And there's still one. Oh, this one I know. This one. What's this? Oh, this is very easy. Yeah, look. Now we get another round. And it's easier because I have more time. Which is like a weird arc for a game. It gets easier as you go along. But that's... I guess that's not so important. And maybe I'm actually losing. I don't remember anything right now. Oh, where are these? Nope. Okay, I shouldn't have complained about stuff being too easy. I guess that was a bad idea. Oh, I think I know where this one is. Ah, I'm dead. Am I not dead? Look, we actually reproduced it. We reproduced it. Let's see. Yes. What does this say? Key must be integer. Key must be integer in assoc in reveal tile. Reveal tile in start game loop. Wow. I think no. I thought that we had reproduced this timeout thing because I didn't evaluate this namespace, but how could it be key must be integer? Oh, it's closed. Yes. The WebSocket closed when the game was over, and then we actually got a nil message from where? From here. WebSocket channel is closed, and we're never checking if the value is nil. So that's the problem. And of course, the tick channel, it says tick. Okay, so when value, basically, we can log something. But we don't have any logs involved. Yeah, okay. So if we get a value, then we will continue. Well, otherwise we might want to like close these channels. Yeah, let's close them. So nope, we'll just repeat it, and this is like very common in my in my experience when using Go loops, that you end up putting way much more code into it just to like handle all of the weird stuff, and you can't really pull any of it out because it uses you could pull it out, but it would not be able to do timeouts, and it would not be able to and you would have to pass in everything. So like I have these two, but I can't extract it into a function because then this take from the timeout would not work. So I'm not entirely sure what you're supposed to do about that. I could of course just place it outside of the loop. Yeah, that is possible. Let's do that. So when we have a value, so here's the loop, and after the loop we will close these channels and so on. So we have a loop here, and after the loop wait for a bit, then close these channels. We can close the tick channel right away, that's no problem. It's the WebSocket channel that we want to wait a bit on. So now we have a new game loop that shouldn't fail like this. We never got the message that we were yeah, we did reproduce it because we never got the message that we were dead. So you see, it was quite easy to reproduce the timing issue with the WebSocket channel. Okay, so now we have more fixes. This one is don't dissociate on records. They stop being records. Something like that. And this is, well, there's two things here. One is we want to do the timeout, and the other is that we want to finish the loop if the WebSocket is closed. But it's very weird. I think when we close the WebSocket channel, it instantly closes on this side, and then it gets a nil. Yeah. Asynchronous programming. It's hard. Doesn't moving it out of the loop change the return value? Yes, that's true, but the return value isn't used, I think. But that's a good point. I will just write this. Fix timing issue with closing WebSocket too fast. Another exclamation mark. Okay. Let's see. Actually, the return value doesn't change because the return value for start game loop is just this channel. The return value from this channel does change. From no, I think loop has a nil return value, and so does close. Regardless, I think, but nobody's looking at the game loop return value either way. It just starts it. Start game loop. That's a good point. Okay. Now we do have some tests. I don't think any of this code has been is like covered by the tests, but let's try line auto expect anyway. This one is not needed. Auto expect is also not a task. Really? So there are different projects. Line expectations. Line auto expect. Yep. So this is refactored. That's okay. Very different serial numbers here. 008 and 198. 190. Okay, let's try it again. When I did the screencast, I ran the expectation tests inside of Emacs, and I haven't really maintained that code, and of course that's broken during the last 3 years. So basically anything, the CSS broke and the tooling broke, but Clojure seems to be working fine, so that's good. It does say something about like backwards compatibility and difference in style between Clojure and most everything else. Okay, so we have tests running. What do these tests even look like? I wonder. We have just one test, it's the game test. And we're testing the create game function. And we're testing the reveal tile function. And the prep function, and tick to concealment, and time to die, getting out alive. Okay. Well, these aren't too bad. It's not too much code. I'm not going to go very much into them, I think, right now, but we can have like, if I pull this up a little bit, maybe we can have the test down here. Let's try and run it. Yeah, that's nice. At least now we know if we're breaking anything while doing changes, because I would like to take a look at this code. What does it even do? So every tick, it basically counts down stuff. It counts down the sand, it counts down the completion. I guess ticks is used for that? Yeah. So it uses the mod trick, meaning since it ticks every 200 milliseconds, it mods with 5 and then it updates the sand and the replace remaining. Okay. So I see, like, this is just a very nice, cool little feature of Clojure that I'm very happy whenever I get to use, and that is update takes var args. And you can actually just raise this up and remove that, and it's still the same. Did you see what happened? I'm not sure if everyone uses this, but I really love it. Instead of this anonymous function, since this replace remaining takes the sand as the first argument, you can just raise it up and remove this, and the var args version of update will fix it. So update game sand replace remaining with God. It's very beautiful. There's another very cool thing that we don't need here, and that is swap also takes swapping with atoms. It also takes var args in the same way, and you can combine them. Raising is parodied, that's right. Parodied lets you treat the code like a tree structure. So when I'm raising stuff, we have the same thing here. I update the sand and I concatenate stuff into it. So when I raise, well, this isn't actually raising, it's splicing backwards. So it's splicing this list into the next one. So now I update the sand and I concatenate 30 new sand remaining onto it. But parodied does so much more. There's like this idea that Lisp has too many parentheses. I'm not saying it does, but I think parodied is the cure for that, because once you have parodied, you don't care about parentheses anymore. People sometimes get shocked when they say, oh wow, there's 5 parentheses on the end here. But I'm just blind to those. I don't care about those, because parodied will always keep me safe. It will never allow me to remove any parentheses that will unbalance this expression, and I can just work with it. So that's very nice. I would recommend anyone to learn parodied. 1 second. And I know now that there's parodied for lots of editors. So there's parodied in IntelliJ, there's parodied in I think Vim has parodied as well. And several others have parodied-like features. So basically, if I go over here and I try to delete this parenthesis, it just won't allow me to do it. The same other way on. I press backspace, and it says beginning of a list. You can't do this. So if I want to get rid of this parenthesis, I have to do something else, like erase it. Or, yeah. Anyway, I did a video on parodied on Emacs Rocks, and if you think it's a hassle, then you are absolutely right. It is a hassle to learn. It's a hassle to learn Clojure as well. It's a hassle to learn Emacs as well. These are tools made for people that are going to use them a lot. So they're not optimized for learning, I would say. But it is very, very nice once you get it into your fingers. And I know about parodied. I tried learning it 3 times, and it was only on the 3rd time that it stuck. Okay, so we have, so what does this tick do? It updates the ticks, it count down sand. So what does this even do? It updates the game sand in the game and replaces the remaining gone. Okay. So replace remaining just, oh wow. This is a mouthful, isn't it? So it takes the same amount of sand that was there before and it concatenates. Wow. So it takes while it's not remaining and it adds in the replacement and then it drops while it's not remaining and then it drops the, oh, wow. This is not nice code. Hello, MAACL72. Welcome to the stream. I'm going to ask you the same question as the other ones. None of those have answered. But did you watch the show? And are you writing Clojure for work or fun? Or let me know. I would be interested to know. So this replace remaining, maybe we can fix this today, because this is horrible. We'll have to understand what it does, and then we can see if we can do something better. But first of all, I just noticed something else. You have very excellent, very good. Did you watch them recently? So like I'm going through all of this and you're like, yeah, I know. I just watched it because I didn't. But I'm hoping we can all learn something. Just like throw out questions, throw out suggestions. I'm open for it. But I noticed something, and that is update in game, and then there's just one thing here. That's not necessary. Let's take a look. So here are all my update in. So there's one here in tiles, there's one here in perform match actions, and there's one in games, and they all have just one. So we don't need that. We can just do update and then nope. We'll just raise this, and raise this, okay? Because when there's just one thing, you can just use update. And this one we can't use the varargs trick because it has to the param there has to be the first into the function. But here we can do the vararg tricks. So I will just raise this up and remove this. So we update sand, replace remaining with 3 zombies. That's nice. Okay. So this should be the same. Very good. So that's a little bit better. So if I found, yeah, I think maybe this horrible piece of code, this horrible piece of code here needs to die. Hey, Darmin. Hello. That's very nice to hear. Thank you. I'm not putting so much effort into them anymore. I used to make lots of videos, but yeah, my interests wax and wane. So you've seen all of the Emacs Rocks videos, but only the first few Parens of the Dead. Yeah, the Parens of the Dead series. I had lots of fun with it. But I think maybe I went a little bit overboard trying to make the videos short. Because I get so annoyed myself at videos that just go on and on and on about irrelevant stuff that I was like practicing to make it as quick and sweet and short as possible. And I think maybe I went overboard. So this is like an entirely different format. So do interact with me, because otherwise it might actually get a little bit boring. I'm not sure. I will just sit here and code a little bit, and you can watch, and do shout out if there's anything you think about. But if you think this is a reasonable thing to look at, like does this even do, and can we make it better, then that's my plan for right now. So replace remaining. We have the function here, and then it's used twice. It's used when we're counting down to replace one remaining. Okay, I think we'll have to just look at the data structure. That should be possible, right? Game, let's see, game test. Here we go. Create game. So here's the data structure. Oh, hey, MAACL72 is so the original parents of the dead weights when they came out. Also all the Emacs rocks with I use video professionally. And I think you mean Clojure. And for hobby projects. Very nice. Very nice when they came out. Yeah, so if you watched them when you came out, I guess you're about as rusty as me then. And using Clojure professionally is brilliant. That's really nice. Oh, the extending Emacs series. Yeah, that was with Christian. Yeah, that was fun. We actually did like a zombie themed game programming series in Norwegian called Zombie CLJ together, and that was fun too. But yeah, let's see. So the game data structure has some tiles with faces on them and some sand, and here's the data structure that we're working on. It's just a list of keywords, and all of them are remaining. So it just says remaining. Cool. I'm glad to hear that. MAACL72. That's a very hard name to say. I'm coding in Clojure professionally, and that's the work I ever dreamed about. Yeah, me too. It is so good. I've been working professionally with Clojure now for 6 years. I wouldn't go back. We at work we like to joke about us being unhireable for anything else. We're just so spoiled for technology because we're using like Clojure, ClojureScript, and Datomic. It's wild. It's very nice though. Okay, so I'm on the Clojure Reddit. Cool. Mac, that's a good name. What about Clojure makes you so happy about it? Okay, that's a topic. Well, I think the most important and the most bestest parts about Clojure is, well, its lispiness is very nice, but I think the best parts about it is the pure functions, and yeah, the REPL is great, and also immutability, and that's a handful. But the thing about immutable data structures and just working with data instead of objects that I have been doing for many years in my career is that immutable data and just working with data allows for pure functions. Without immutable data structures, you can't really have pure functions. And pure functions are such a relief. Basically, when you look at pure functions, mean that it only works on its params and it only returns something. It doesn't affect the world, it doesn't change anything, it only returns a new value. And I think the core idea is that whenever you run a pure function with the same arguments, you will always get the same result back. And that has some implications. First of all, you can't really do like the traditional troika, you know, like at the top there's the client, and then you have like a business layer, And at the bottom there's a database, because, well, it just, all of your business logic is like layered on top of this unstable database. And you're so reasoning about it gets a lot harder when you do it like that. But when you use pure functions, you can always just look at the function, and there's nothing else to understand really. If you understand what the function does, then you know what it does. It isn't out in the system looking at some data somewhere. It isn't out in the system doing other stuff. It isn't reliant on some singleton somewhere in your system. It just operates on the exact things that you're passing to it, and then just returning something. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was excellently explained, but I think the immutability and the pure functions and the Lispiness, that's what makes me happy. And it's not only happy, but it makes me confident in the code. And even if Java actually has a REPL, the Java REPL is like a side thing. In Clojure, it works exactly like the REPL when you're running it in your production environment. So this is why you always have to declare. You always have to create the functions before using them in Clojure. That's because it just evaluates one form at a time, even in runtime. So it doesn't like do two passes. But I'm not going to talk so much about this. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So we have this list of sand, which is just a list, and it takes something to replace remaining, like one gone, because when you count down the sand, it's not longer remaining, it's gone. But if you, this is to perform match actions. So if you match zombies, these are zombies, then we replace 3 remaining with zombies. And so that's when you lose 3 seconds. And then we update tiles Wake the Dead. Okay, so Wake the Dead basically just replaces the graveyard with a zombie. That makes sense. So update sand takes a list of remaining and switches out the first remaining. That's what it does. So it takes all of the things that are not remaining, like gone or like zombies, plops in the replacement in between, and then it takes the rest of sand. So it's the take while, drop while, that will like split the list in 2, and then it will drop the same amount as in the replacement. And finally, just to make extra sure, it will take the same amount. So if there were 30 sand earlier, it's now still 30 sand. Yeah. So how can we make this better? I think the problem here is actually the data structure. Let's take another look at that. Because we have these tiles, they are randomized. We have like all the faces, but this remaining, there's 30 remaining sand. Why do we have to repeat remaining so many times? I realize that there are 30, like, well, here there's 60 like boxes, because we're on the second round. There's 60 boxes. And yeah, exactly, Bukante. It should just be a counter. All right, how many do I have? How many are gone? How many are remaining? That would be enough, except for one thing. and I will show you. I will show you by once again showing my ineptitude at this game. So I will this time try to actually pair up some zombies. So now they are all gone. What? Okay, let's see if we can find some zombies. There's some zombies. Okay. Watch what happens now. When I press this zombie here, I should lose 3 seconds. Do you see? So now I can see here that I have 3 seconds lost to zombies. So if it's just a counter, I would lose that information. Make sense? The problem, of course, being that, well, first of all, it isn't really a necessary thing. I don't have to show those green things when you hit the zombie. But it's nice, and I don't want to reduce the usability of it just to get some cleaner code. So that makes it a bit harder. But what if the data structure included the non-remaining part of the time? So all the things that actually happened, it might be that something is gone. It might be that there are some zombie tiles, but the remaining, we don't need those. You could also show a different kind of alert. I agree. But I think we will try to keep the same feature, but do it smarter so we can kill this horrible, horrible code. So I think, hey, thanks for the follow. Arkham the Rogue. Very cool. While you're here, did you watch the show? Are you using Clojure for work? Or for fun? So, okay, I'm just joining. Very nice. We are trying to clean up some code. There's just replace remaining. Cool. Replace remaining. It takes actually just a list of keywords. I will show you here. A list of keywords, sand, and there's 30 remaining keywords in there. And it's used to show this. So the blue ones are remaining and the gray ones are gone. And we're trying to make a better data structure than like this, just a list of remaining stuff to improve this code. So let's see. What if sand looked like this? There are total sand 30, or just total, since it's in the sand inside the game. Total 30, and gone. The things that are gone. And that's a list of gone, 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 zombie, 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 gone, for instance. So this is the sand. And when we increase the total, let's see, we do that here, countdown completion, complete round, and we're not on the last round. Look, we update sand and concatenate 30 remaining, right? So instead of concatenating 30 remaining keywords onto the data structure, we can just increase this total to 60. That would be nice. And we can use the prep to fix it, to make it like the UI wants, because we of course have a UI here. Let's see, we haven't looked at it. Here's the client. Okay, let's just take a little look at the client. It finds the container, and then once, because of fig wheel, we will start listening on the WebSocket, connect to the WebSocket, and get the game from the server, render it, and this one is a little bit fun, because if we're dead, we get the game over, which is here, eaten by zombies. And if we're safe, we go to the safe HTML location. Otherwise, we recur. So if we're dead, we stop recurring. That's pretty cool. I think I actually said that in a video. Yeah, it's still cool. Okay, so this is the client, and then there's some components. So we have components here, render game. Okay, I don't have a closure script REPL right now. So render game renders the game. And the game has a board and some timers. Okay, and the timers are just the sand, and it partitions it into 30. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's 30, 30, 30. And then it's just, yeah, so the client expects this list of keywords, and we can still give it to it. We don't have to change how the client works. We can just change the data structure that we use internally to be better. Yeah, to work better. So how do we go about doing that? Do we fix the tests first? In what order? I'm not entirely sure. We could like just do it one test at a time. It's quite possible. I know there is like the focus feature in expect, but I think it's just expect focused, maybe like this. No? Expect focused, yeah. So if I do this, it's running, yeah, it's just running one of them. Okay. Let's see. So this test just checks that we have 2 houses, 5 houses, 2 of each, and so on. This test checks that we get different games. And here we have the sand test, remaining 30. Okay, because it does frequencies on sand. I see. Yeah, so maybe you want something like this. We want remaining 30. Instead of the total. Yeah, that sounds okay, doesn't it? Okay, so sand should be remaining 30. Okay, so I'll have to focus things as I go along. Focused. Focused and focused. And we'll have to undo all of these afterwards. So this one fails, that's okay. So that is create game. And instead of repeating 30 remaining, we'll just do remaining 30. Okay, this one tries to reveal stuff and checks that stuff has been revealed. This one reveals more stuff. So this is all reveal tile. It doesn't really have anything to do with sand. Hello, Fluxen. Good to see you. We're trying to just improve this code. If you see anything, any suggestions, any questions, you're welcome. But the thing we're doing right now is we're trying to take a horrible piece of code, which is replace remaining, this piece of code here, and do something better with it. Basically by changing, this is the old create game, and it would make 30 remaining keywords in a list. And we're trying to replace that with instead just 30 remaining in the map like this. Yeah, okay. So all of these reveal tile tests should still work. I will do, no, that doesn't work. Okay. I have to remove the focus. It doesn't really make for a very nice workflow. So we have 8 failing tests. Let's find out which one was failing. So 62 focused like this. Okay, so instead of zombie remaining, we have remaining 30. Okay, so we take 4 sand. Yeah, we're no longer interested in taking 4 sand. We will just do sand, and it should say gone. Should be 3 zombies. and remaining should be 27. So now we have 3 zombies in our gone column, and there are 27 remaining. Very nice. So this is reveal 1. Reveal tile, I see. So this is the, right now we are heading into like very strange territory. I think we'll have to fix I think we'll have to rejig the tests and then rejig the code. Let's see. So let's find the next one that's failing. So we have 162. Let's find the next one that's failing. Let's see. 100. Okay, so 100. It creates a game, reveals an H1 and an H2, and then it ticks 3 times. And then it counts, and it's expecting 0, but what? No, that can't be right. 100. Expect 0 was 2. Okay. I'm not sure that I'm going about this the right way, because this one doesn't say anything about sand. Agreed? It really doesn't, but it does tick. Okay. I will go back to the first attempt at 62, and I will do focused on this, and I will fix this. And then we can start looking at the other failing tests, because it's very weird. It's behaving very weirdly right now. So we reveal a tile, and then there's the zombies. You remember this? The 3 zombies. This does replace remaining. Update sand, replace remaining with 3 zombies. What we want to do now? We want to update in sand gone, right? And we want to concatenate 3 zombies. So we're updating sand. Yes, we are concatenating 3 zombies onto gone. That's one of the things that we're supposed to do. And the other thing we're supposed to do is remove 3 remaining. So remaining, and we want to update it by subtracting 3. I think this should work. Yes. So now we have green tests. Maybe this serves to be like its own thing, like replace remaining, but we don't have to do that right away. Okay, so now we can go to 100, and it's this one, expect focused, and this should fail. Okay, so what's really going on here? It's creating a game, it's revealing 2 different houses, and then it's ticking, and it should no longer be revealed. Why is that failing? We'll have to see why. This does reveal tile. Check for concealment. Check for concealment. Yeah, this is the one that conceals, isn't it? So concealment, if revealed, conceal countdown. Yes, I think this is the one that's failing. Let's see, yeah. So if revealed, conceal countdown. Check for conceal. If can reveal, what does that say? It just finds the revealed tiles. If there are 2, if 2 is higher than the count of revealed tiles, you can reveal stuff. So that's fine. Check for concealment. If we init concealment. So init concealment associate conceal countdown. That's a good point. I usually do go use debugging if I'm stuck, really stuck. But right now, it's been so long since I watched this code that that I'm just like trying to figure out how it actually works. Because just debugging like blindly, I don't like that, because you can start the debugger, and we will maybe have to do that soon, because I'm a little bit stumped. I'm not entirely sure why my changed that. So we can go to 100. We can try and do another test first, of course, but there has to be something about the tick, because it does count down sand, and sand no longer. This is just wrong. At this point, it's just wrong. So let's fix that first. So it's the repeat 3 zombies. It's this code here, and we are supposed to concatenate a gun. This can be better, and we can decrement the remaining. Yeah. So maybe that fixes it. No, not at all. Too many arguments to if. Thread first. What? Thread first doesn't work. That's great. Update in game. Thread first. Let's see, like this. Yeah, so that doesn't fix it, but we now have another test that's been fixed. We can remove this focus here, and we can like do, let's see. Okay, let's try and figure out what's going wrong in this code, just like you said. I think maybe the first thing I would do is just unwrap this thing. I would like make a comment here, paste this in, because if I do this, I only get 0, and I expect. Now what's going on? Isn't that exactly what expect says here? 0? Maybe I haven't evaluated this properly. Now it says 2. That's better. So I will filter revealed, and that's of course H1 and H2. They are revealed, and they still have their conceal countdown for 5. And it's only been ticking 3 times. But the conceal countdown doesn't seem to be counting down. To me, that's what it seems like. So let's remove this here, and let's see what happens after 3 ticks. We have a concealed. Oh, still says 0 ticks after 3 ticks. So there's something. There's definitely something. Why is there still 0 ticks? Very, very interesting. Because there are not any remaining sand. Did you notice that we are dead? Look. We're dead. We're instantly dead because there are no remaining sand. So that's why. That's why it doesn't fix it. That was a bit funny. Okay, I'm going to have to need some cider at this point. But that was a good tip. Try and figure out what's wrong by not just reading the code. It's a bit much. Okay, so we're dead. Very good. I guess, yeah, we have like tests for that down here. So all of these should be failing, all of these tests. So let's try and unfocus this one for now. Let's take a look at these ones. Focused. So this one says, after we have created a game and ticked 5 times, we should have some sand, and let's just see what this should look like. Gone should be this, and remaining should be 29. So these tests are actually getting better because, hello, these tests are getting better because earlier, let's take a look. Why are you doing this to me? No. Discard changes. No. Look here. Earlier we would just take 2 and they should be gone and remaining. Right? This new one is much better because it says, well, there's 1 gone and there's 29 remaining. And we just avoided doing that earlier because it would be too verbose. So this is already better. So this, and it shouldn't be working because I don't think we've fixed this. Let's see. So we take 5. Okay, yeah, it's still not doing anything because we're still dying. So if there is 0 remaining sand, we're dead. Yeah, 0 remaining sand. And this is actually doing the thing. Yeah, this is the one I fixed earlier. This is the one I fixed earlier when I changed this gone thing. Now I can finally do. I want the gone to be at the end. And I can't be sure about putting thing at the end because if I use conj, it might be put at the front if it's a list. And if we start with nil, it's a list. So maybe concat is okay. Yeah, for now at least. Gone isn't a counter to, and maybe you missed this earlier because sometimes there are zombies. And if you hit the 2 zombies, then 3 of your seconds are gone, and those are colored green. So it's a very small thing, but it makes us unable to make gone into a counter. I will show you afterwards. So, okay, we will focus this one, and it should be. Now we might need frequencies, actually. Yeah. Okay, this code did not get better. Exactly because the thing that you said, gone isn't a counter. So yeah, let's do sand, gone, frequencies, like this. So this works now. Focused, and we should be dead after 151 ticks, and that works as well. So that's good. Now we can go back to line 100. That had me stumped for so long. I will focus this, and this should be working now. Okay. So maybe there are no more tests that don't work. Let's try and do this and this. What? This stopped working for some reason. Okay. Not happy about this. Let's see. Okay. Now we find out map literal must contain an even number of forms. Thank you. I will undo all the way back to maybe here. Okay, what happened with my map? What happened with my multiple cursors that broke this one? Let's just do regular normal cursors. Still running? Wow. Yes, of course. Now we were rid of the focus, so now stuff should happen. Yes, we have 157. Let's see. So this just counts the sand. Okay, so this creates a game, reveals all the houses, waits like the grace period, then checks that we now have 30 sand. What I want to do is to check that we now have 30 still remaining. I guess. But it isn't as clear. It really isn't as clear. So let's put a little to do on this one and make that better. And it was actually nil because we haven't fixed that code. Okay, so let's just focus this one, and then we can fix reveal all houses. Okay, yeah, we're back here, back in the complete round. Complete round. And here, yes, we update the sand and concatenate 30 remaining, and that's not what we're supposed to do at the moment. We're updating in sand remaining and we're adding 30. And it was 60. Why? Let's see, 158, this is the one. Let's see. So I'm expecting there to be 30, but it must be reveal all houses. That isn't actually working. Let's see. Update in sand remaining. What? This is interesting. Why? We'll have to do the trick that we learned earlier. And that is to look a bit at the data. So we will remove this and we will reveal all houses. Of course there's 60 remaining. Yes, it's right. There's supposed to be 60 remaining because this player has actually revealed all houses in no time. There's no time gone. So that's why there's 60. That's a feat. Certainly a feat. So it's supposed to be 60 here. Very good. It's not at all plausible, but it does make sense in this context. So why isn't there 90? Really? It was 89! Wow! Because we've ticked 6 times. That's why. Okay, this is fun. Yeah, actually, in this case, it's like the tests are a bit weird, but it's quite useful, regardless. So I will fix this by saying that there's supposed to be 60 remaining and none gone at the moment, and here it's the remaining 89 and there's one gone. So this gone is a bit strange, but anyway, still failing. It's 89. Oh yeah, I have to remove this one. Okay, so this is fun. And yeah, this one should just work. If you have revealed all houses 3 times, then you're safe, and you're not. Why you're not safe? Because, well, let's find out. Let's remove this. Let's see what happened here. You're dead. That's why. Because you're dead. That's great. Let's see what happens there. So there's some code still. So here's associate dead. Is there somewhere else that says dead? Nope. This is the only place. So we have to realize that there's 0 remaining for us to be dead at this point. What? There's 30 remaining here. How can we be dead? Wow. Okay. Now. You're dead, that's great. Yeah. Making zombie games makes for some fun puns and jokes, that's true. I originally called, instead of this gone in the CSS, I called it remains. I thought that was fun as well, but I changed it though. Okay, so you're dead. Because remaining in sand must be 0 at that point, so we will have to debug it. Okay, let's just... I wonder if we can be a bit creative in reducing the debugging time. If I define a played game that's done all of this. Well, first of all, let's check if I'm still dead. Yeah, I'm already dead there. Of course. No, not of course. Okay, I'm still confused. Let's do this. Am I still dead? Oh yes. Am I dead? How quickly am I dead? Am I dead here? What? Oh, sorry. Am I dead here? Am I dead here? No. Okay, we haven't ticked yet. So I will tick once. Am I dead now? Oh yes. Insta dead. So we don't. So yeah, we can reduce the debugging a bit. We can just. So if you haven't used the Emacs debugger, it's pretty great for a text-only editor. I just prefixed evaluating this function, and now it's red. And you can see here, this is also red. So all the invocations of tick are now red, and I can just evaluate this, and we're in the debugger. So remaining 30. Still 30. So should this be true or false? It's false. Amazing. So how come I'm dead? Did something else happen that made me dead? Let's look at this. So how this I'm not entirely sure how to inspect actually. There's something here called locals here. Eval? No. Okay. So, but am I dead though? Not that I can tell. Did I evaluate this? Ah. I didn't, did I? Ah! So this is the problem with using both the REPL and tests. Because everything is awesome down there because the tests, they keep refreshing everything. But the REPL doesn't. So when I was using my plugin to run tests inside the browser, inside Emacs, then this wasn't a problem. But when I'm running it next to it, this sort of stuff happens. So yeah, the worst part about the REPL is actually that you can remove the function and it's still available in your REPL, and you can keep using that old function even if it's no longer there until you commit something and then your build breaks. So it's not all puppies and sunshine with REPLs, but yeah. Okay, so that function is indeed a zombie. That's very true. Oh, so now everything just works. Why? This is not correct. This one shouldn't be working. This isn't even a test. It has no expected clause. We were supposed to test if we were safe. Safe? And we were not safe. So now we're back here and we're seeing that we're not dead, but we're also not safe. Because we have 119 remaining. And that makes sense because we have this on the last round function. And it counts sand. So how would it even know that we are on the last round in this case? I'm starting to think that remaining is not the best counter. That's a good tip. That's a good tip, Mac. I used to I used to be like a reset junkie. So you can always do like reset, and it would run the let's see, user. Oh yeah, so reset here is reloaded REPL, but it would run the thing that's underneath there. Let's see if we can find it. refresh. Yeah, tools namespace. So this is the one that I would use all the time. But I'm trying, well, I have been using just like evaluate buffer, but as we've just recently seen, it doesn't always work for me. So the thing that I'm feeling right now is that this remaining isn't a very good thing. I want it to be a total, because there are two reasons. We like have to both concat gone here and reduce the remaining. And yeah, it's just weird. So I want to change it to total. And we're like mid refactoring now, so maybe that's stupid. But yeah, I don't want to write this on last round code, because you will have to count all the things that are in gone and add the remaining to it. Yeah, it's just stupid. So this refactoring took a bit longer than I was expecting, and we're still going. So let's find remaining. So instead we are going to do total 30. Much better. Remaining, let's see, nope, total 30. And here, total 30, okay. Total 60, so this is already a lot less confusing, right? So you don't even have to check this gone anymore. We can just do 90 sand total. This is the thing that we're interested in. After you have revealed 2 houses, you should have 90 total. Same thing goes here. Total. Very good. So that's all the remaining. I will save this. Nothing should work. And then total 30 here. Remaining. Yeah, this one is no longer in use. Thank God. And here is the remaining. We'll just remove this code. Remaining. Remove this code, and we can unwrap this. And here's the remaining. Let's update with total instead. Okay. So now we have the same. We're not safe. And if we're on the last round, if you're on the last round, that means remaining is total is 90, right? Okay, now it's green. And let's do expect focused. Replace with expect. Like this. Okay, so we have 2 failures. There's 123. Let's see. We're expecting there to be what? 30 gone, and there's 31 gone. There's 31 gone. Now we know. Do you remember in the first that we took count of sand? Take count of sand at the on the outside. That's to avoid this problem, because we have now created a game and ticked 155 times. That's enough for 31 seconds. Meaning that we get too many gone. This seems like a weird bug. Why would it even add that one? Wouldn't I be dead? You would think I would be dead. Am I dead? I think we have like a test for that. Dead. 151 times. After 150 ticks, 151 ticks, I'm dead. So why even have this test? Am I not supposed to be... Isn't the game over? I'm not sure about this test. Let's do 151 ticks. we have what? Oh yeah, so that fixed it. But why did this test? Why did this test check for 31 gone? Check that we did not get 31 gone. We can test that afterwards. Let's see. So the last one is 131. Is this one? This one doesn't work now. I'm not dead after 151. Why? Maybe they. I believe you. Let's see. I'm not. There's 0 remaining. Remaining? Nope. Evaluate. I'm not falling for that again. And there's lots of gone. And 151 ticks. Okay, so it's the dead test. Yeah, it's the dead test that's not running. So yeah, good job. Let's see. Am I dead? So 0 remaining. That was the thing. And it's never remaining because it's always nil. But now the test should be, okay, it's time to do is dead game. Like so. Because if the total in the sand and the count of gone in sand if total is less than or equal to the number of gone things, then you are dead. Yes. So I think all of these tests are now running, and it's still not good enough. Let's see. Because we have to prep it so it looks like the old data structure. So we had to do here. Yeah, I fixed that one. I didn't like the way you had to look at the intro and look this expectation, but we fixed that. So let's see, prep. Here is the prep test. So prep prep sand. Let's see. So we will create a game and we will prep it and we will look at the sand and we will do frequencies and expect to see remaining 30. Exactly. So this should be like before. So let's look at prep. Prep, there it is. Update tiles. Update tiles. We now also need to update sand. Flatten. Flatten sand. Okay. Function from example. No longer working. That's a bit disappointing. Okay, so sand has some keys. It has a total and gone. Right? So it's just a concatenation of gone with a repeat of a count. So it's total and the count of gone. You'll repeat so many remaining. Isn't that right? You can do into as well. Oh, it's a bit scary. Let's do concat for now. Okay, so now we flatten the sand. Let's do another test. I think maybe everything is working. I wrote a bit too much code here if we were going to be test driven. So I will prep. I will tick 5 times. I think we have like a tick N5. So now should 29 remaining and 1 gone. Nope, that did not work at all. Tick N. Oh, where's my tick N? That's down here. Okay. Okay. And we could also check that the GON is on the front end. Okay, let's do that. So we will do take 2. See that we have GON and remaining. Okay, so now the prep actually creates the old data structure. And from what I think, maybe this should still work. We have that case with the 31st gone. We can take a look at that. So it's still counting down. That's good. We can find some zombies. And if you wonder why it wasn't just a counter earlier, it's because when you hit 2 zombies, they turn green like this. You see these 3 green here. That's the only reason. And now let's see if we get 31. It should be up here in that case. No, I'm dead before I get 31. So that test is not useful. Okay, so I think this is actually an improvement. We can take a look at what we've done. We have added auto expect. That would be red. What do you mean? What do you mean about red? The zombies? There's, you know, zombies are sort of disease-like, so that should be green. And also I'm colorblind, so there's that. Add auto expect plugin to line. Yes, you are losing seconds, that's true, and green is positive. I see, but zombies in the picture are green. I think at least. Okay, so we've done quite a bit. Instead of repeating 30 remaining here, we're just saying total 30. And there's some other cleanup. And then we got rid of this code, and this is the code that I really wanted to get rid of. Because it's horrible to read. It's take while, replacement, drop while, drop count, take count. Oh, I can't look at it. So we got rid of that. And instead of doing all this, when we're adding 3 zombies, we're just concatenating it onto gone. So that's nice. But we have to flatten the sand, as you do. And concat on gone. Yeah. And we're using, instead of counting sand, we're just using the total. That's nice. And instead of this ugly piece of code, concatenating, repeating 30 remaining onto sand, we're just adding 30 to the total. So this looks a lot better, I think. Replace clunky code by using better data structures. Structures. I spell a word. Structures is correct. Very good. So that's a good improvement, I think. So, no, this Emacs is running as an app. It's the one installed via Brewcask, but you can get its same app via the website Emacs for Mac OS X. And the problem with Emacs in the terminal is that some key bindings don't work because they're hijacked by the terminal. And another problem is I'm not sure what other problems there are because I haven't used it for so long. But since I'm working 8 hours a day at least in Emacs, it might as well be an app. Okay, we have, yeah, maybe colors. We have done some improvements. We have we did lots of like little stuff, but it still reads better. And then there's the big deal, actually fixing the data structure to get better code, which is also nice. And I'm not even sure if there are lots of other fixes for this code. So I'm thinking next time, unless you have some improvement ideas, I'm all for it. I'm thinking next time maybe we should try starting a new game. Does that sound cool? I have some CSS handy. A game that I never got to make. So also zombie themed of course. So you can follow me in the here on Twitch, and you will get an email message next time I'm online. But just following me on Twitter on Parens of the Dead is also a good idea if you want to know the next time. I'm not sure when it will be. I have like family, you know. But I think maybe next time adding a new game would be really cool. After this one, because you're running through all the houses, and next time you're inside a house, still trying to get away from zombies. Cool. So I think I will close it there. We've been close to 2 hours. Thanks for showing up and making this a lot nicer than if I had to be sitting here all by myself coding. Take care, everyone.